Hey y'all, it's Brooks from Collectible Brooks, and I'd like to talk a little bit about one of our favorite patterns, Rose Medallion. Now, I'm not an expert on this by any means, but I do love Rose Medallion like so many of you out there, and I love researching and learning about all the pieces that come through my shop. So first of all, Rose Medallion has been around for centuries, but it really gained in popularity around the 19th century when trade with China opened up with Western countries. So a little bit about dating these pieces, telling how old they are. There's a couple things that you can look for. Usually, the first thing is look on the back for any markings. The older pieces generally aren't marked at all, and then you'll also see that they don't have any, that the glaze is not on parts of them, either the entire base or sometimes just the foot. These pieces are generally pretty old, usually made between 1840 and 1890. Now later, they did require any imports from China to be marked. And so if you see China stamp on the bottom or painted on the bottom, those typically were made between 1890 and 1915. A little bit later, they stamped them as made in China, and these pieces are generally from the 1920s as well. Then also, when you see made in Hong Kong, sometimes some pretty obvious new Chinese symbols, these pieces are later. But a lot of them are vintage still and really pretty, in my opinion. Now, a little bit on just Rose Medallion in general and the different types of Rose Medallion. Obviously, Rose Medallion is, let me get a good example here. Rose Medallion consists of brightly colored panels that alternate around a central medallion. There are two different types of Rose Medallion. The first one is where you just only see botanical art that alternate around that medallion. This type is called Rose Canton, and the botanicals will usually consist of flowers and butterflies and different insects, birds, sometimes fish. Now, if you see pieces that alternate the botanical art with people, this type of Rose Medallion is called Rose Mandarin. So Rose Mandarin, Rose Canton, they're both so pretty. Rose Medallion is just such a fun pattern to collect. I've been collecting it for so long. It looks stunning as a wall collection or just as a display together. Mix in some blue and white too. It always looks so pretty. It comes in so many shapes and sizes. I've seen them as tall, tall soldier vases, and then just the tiny little saucers and the butter pat dishes. I think they're so cute. These make great little trinket dishes on your bedside table. But it goes with everything. You can pair it with all kinds of different patterns. It's just such a classic porcelain and pattern. So that's Rose Medallion 101 from Collectible Brooks. I hope you learned something today, and thanks for joining me.